Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sean and Sack Show. As you can see, we're on location. We're in
the boneyard.
We're in where all of the race tires go to die.
Where they throw their trash.
It's a little bit windy. There's a little bit of background noise, but you know, we need to be better about sticking to our schedule, and our camera guys are over there taking a leak behind the camera. It's really great. You can, take a picture so you can see the picture here. We'll just throw it in this show. It's right here. It's Vinny. Still has his media vest on. But we're in. Oh
my gosh.
We're in Wisconsin right now. We're in Wisconsin. It's really beautiful. They have great cheese. The Packers are from here. We're at Road America, which is a phenomenal race circuit, racetrack. We literally tried to find a nice quiet spot to do this, and we just ventured off into the no man's land.
It's very hard.
For those of you that are watching this, those of you that aren't, we're literally like sitting in a pile of tires, and
the back
it's
of the
great.
Golf cart.
Back of the golf cart.
Sweaty.
Sax is worried about people looking up her shorts, but whatever. So guys, welcome to the podcast.
Whatever.
Any big takeaways today from racing? I know we have something else that we want to talk about, but
something that always comes up for me at races is that nothing's predictable. You can't predict anything, and so it's like the attitudes. Your attitude really matters, and how you show up.
Do I have a good attitude when we're racing?
You do, yeah.
I like this episode too because I get to smoke a cigar because we're outside. We need a new studio that's cigar friendly. Anyways, carry on. Talk about my attitude, babe.
Oh my gosh. Because sometimes, like, you can total your car on a practice, and then you're out for the day. And sometimes you can experience rain when you didn't expect it, and that throws a loop through things. And so it's really cool you really have to have a good mindset, good attitude.
I've shared this many times that racing for me has really helped a lot of aspects of my life. Over the last year, I mean, life has changed a lot. Like, business has changed. Just being newlyweds, like, lots of stuff has changed, and I will attribute a lot of the growth to racing because it's so fucking hard. It's so hard,
and you really have to let shit go.
And that's one of the biggest lessons. I shared this with at the last Lions Den fly-in, and I like drew it up on the board. And you got to imagine a race track. And you know this, I'm just kind of sharing this with everybody. Like, if you blow a corner, you're doing 130 miles an hour, the next corner's in like a few seconds. And if you're sitting there going, fuck, shit, damn it, I blew that corner, shit, you're literally already on to the next corner. And it's like, you have to be able to process stuff so fast and move on so fast. And I think that's one of the things that's helped me the most is like, a lot of people think I'm super fiery and whatever, and I am, but like, I've just learned to like let shit go so quick because you hang on to it in racing and it'll ruin your entire fucking race. Yeah. One corner could literally ruin your entire race if you don't get past it, if you don't let it go. That's very much like, relationships, you know? We contribute that to relationships, you contribute it to business. Like, one bad deal, you let one bad deal ruin your entire fucking company. You let one bad employee, you let one bad experience, you let one bad day, one dip in the market, whatever, and all of a sudden it bleeds over to everything else, and before you know it, you're burning your entire fucking world to the ground. You let one one argument in your relationship explode into 10,000 things. Next thing you know, you're fucking going, why are we even arguing? Like, we're getting divorced over a stupid argument. You know what I mean? So
this actually goes right into our topic today pretty nicely.
That's it?
Yeah, we wanted to talk about changing and evolving in life, and like how people perceive that, and how that some people get kind of triggered when you change or evolve in life. And we see this happen a lot.
Give the backstory of that. Tell the backstory. We landed, we were talking about it on the way when we got to Wisconsin 2 days ago. We had this conversation in the car about a text message specifically that you had gotten from somebody, but then the context of that text.
I had gotten a text message from a family member, and they were upset with me about certain things that they disagree with, which is totally fine. But part of what she was upset about was that I've changed. And I'm always proud to change and to evolve, because it's like, that's meaning I'm growing. That shows growth. And instead of being like, feeling like I should feel bad or punish myself for changing, it's like, I almost thought like, what a sad thing for her that she feels like people need to remain the same,
Well, you had shared how you didn't feel like you did change, and it was like you're evolving and growing, and I'm like, well, that's change. That's the definition of change. One of the things that people say frequently, I get this all the time, and I guarantee every single person listening to this has had somebody say, well, oh, you've changed. And the idea around that, the context around that, the premise around that is like, oh, shit. When you think about that, like internally you're going, oh, wait a second. Have I changed? Like, is that bad?
Yeah.
We're almost conditioned to believe that changing is this bad thing.
For sure.
And I learned a long time ago from one of my coaches about social contracts, and this is something that really helped me change my life over the last 6, 7, 8 years, and specifically with relationships around with people, not just family members or business people, but he talked about how you have a social contract with everybody in life.
Yep.
Like everybody listening to this, you have a social contract with your mom, you have a social contract with your dad, with your brother, with your sister,
and
with
probably a soul contractor too.
Well, let's not go down the hippy dippy road yet. We can go down there in a minute. Let's just talk the granular stuff. You really have a social contract with everybody, with your employees, with your employer, and what that means is like, I know what buttons I can push with my wife. I know what you like. I know what you don't like. I know what makes you happy. I know what makes you mad. I know how you'll react to this. I know how you'll react to that. I know like what your habits are and your patterns are. And if you really think about that, like especially in a family environment, like you grow up with somebody, you have a brother, you have a sister, you have a mom and a dad, with like you spend fucking 20 years with these people, and you become conditioned to your patterns.
Yep.
This is how I am. This is how you are. I like red. You like green. Da da da.
You've always liked green.
And it's and what's interesting is as you start evolving and growing, I went through this like with religion, right? Like as you start evolving and growing, as I started looking deeper into things, people are like, "Oh, well, you're going away from the church," and I'm like, "No, I'm just going a different direction."
Like my spirituality is evolving.
Yeah, I'm evolving and I'm growing. And so these social contracts, if you really think about it, like they're very, very, very powerful. And most human beings will stay in a relationship because of a social contract. Whether they like the relationship or not, whether they agree with it or not, whether it's serving them or not, they'll stay there because of the social contract. Yeah. Right? And you can identify this and see this where people are like, oh, well, this is, you used to be like this, or you used to be like that. And I look at that now and I look at it as a compliment.
Same.
Like I look at it as a true compliment. People are like, you've changed. I'm like, fuck yeah, I've changed. Thank you. Like, and more people say that. It's like, I'm doing my job. I'm like growing, I'm evolving, but it's really, really, really hard because like when you got that message, when you read me that message from your family member, it was one of those things where it was like, well, you used to be like this, and you used to believe this, and you used to believe that, and this is how you used to be. And it's like, well, yeah, no shit. Anybody listening to this, if you stop and really look at who you were 5 years ago, you're not the same person.
Right.
You don't believe the same, you don't think the same, you probably don't look the same, you probably don't earn the same, and maybe you're higher or lower on the chart of where you want to be, maybe you've hit goals, maybe you've not hit goals, but the reality is you're not the same fucking person you were 5 years ago. And like, I pray that by the end of this year, I'm nowhere close to the guy that I was 12 months ago. And God willing, I last another 12 months. I don't want to be the same dude that I am today. I want to be better. I want to evolve. I want to grow.
See, and I had looked at it differently because I didn't feel like I had changed because my core values have remained the same as they always have. Like I care about people. I care about animals. I care about trees. I care about family. Like these core values have never changed. However, I feel like my arrowhead is being sharpened through life, and so it may appear as changed. We had this whole debate.
I think you've changed though. I think your core values can change. What's deeply important to me today is not the same as like 5 years ago. And those are like my core values. Like I looked at success, I looked at business, I looked at status, way different 10 years ago than I do now. And I don't know, I mean, maybe we can look at like the hippy-dippy level and the core values, but to me, like what I value truly, deeply, innately today is significantly different than a couple years ago. I think your core values can change.
I just don't know that mine have. Maybe they have. And I'm just not aware of it. I just feel like I've evolved so much in the past few years, especially with the evolving community of the world right now, of all the things that have happened even in the last 2 years. It's really, really woke me up personally to a lot of things that I was blind to before. And I don't believe that I'd be the only one to say that.
Yeah, but don't you think that's changing, like your core values, your belief probably in family, or your family now, your true connection to it is probably different than it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Would you agree?
Yeah, it's different. Well, I've also evolved with boundaries, with things, which is really, it's helped evolve a lot of things in a good way. It filters things out really quickly.
I heard a quote years ago that there's nothing more consistent than change.
Yep.
There's nothing more constant than change. And like, I really feel like people should be striving more for change than comfort or complacency. Like we should want to change. Like you should want to change your income. You should want to change your body. You should. I heard an acquaintance of mine, his wife was the number 4. She took 4th place at the Mr. Olympia, like 4 years ago, whatever it was. And I'll never forget as long as I live. I mean, she's essentially the 4th fittest fucking chick on the planet. Like the most prestigious event, the most prestigious fitness competition on planet Earth. She's 4th fittest, right? Crushed, like you're better than millions and millions and millions and millions of people. You're like at the top of the fucking game. And I'll never forget as long as I live, when she came back from it, like the first thing she was talking about is I was asking her about it. She was talking about all the things that she wanted to do better and that she needed to do better, you know? And I'll never forget that. It was like, you're like at the top of the fucking game and you're still like, I want to change. I want to change this. She was like, I want to change this about my body, this about my physique, this about this. And I was just like, fuck, man. Like, yeah, you didn't win. And I'm like, you want to win and be at the top. But at the same time, it's like, I think the thing that's the most terrifying is being the same as I was yesterday, being the same as I was a year ago. Our relationship being the same in 5 years as it is today versus I want it to be radically different. I want it to be deeper, more connected, more evolved. I want my businesses to be different. I want my income to be different. I want my body, my physique, my mindset to be different. Like, I want these things to change. You know what I'm saying?
I think one of the healthiest things you can be is curious.
Yeah.
And that's what's kept me on this such a rapid growth, even in the last decade of my life. Like, I've changed, like, I just had a birthday and I was looking at like from when I turned 30 to 39 and I'm thinking like I've lived so many lifetimes in that. And it's because I've stayed curious. I've stayed hungry. I question things. Like I basically stayed a child to some sense. Like I want to I want to be like, hey, why is this happening? Why is this a rule? Why are we doing this? Why? And that's what's led me on a path to new conclusions to where then I continue to be curious about the next thing. And I feel like when people get so rigid with their belief systems or so rigid with who they are and the labels that they put on themselves, you like end up putting yourself in a coffin and you're just boxed in waiting to die.
Not just that, but like I think the thing that a lot of people fear, and I know this because for many years this is where I was, which is why now I've said this 1,000 times. I say why at 43 years old more than an 8-year-old does. Like little kids like why? We tell them, well, because we're the parent, right? But like the thing that's really, really, really fascinating is how many people are terrified of change. And the thing that human beings will do, like this person who texts you, is instead of looking at themselves and saying, okay, you know, where am I? It's very, very, very easy to look at it and judge and say, well, you're different, or you're here, or you're there.
Yeah.
You know, in relationships,
there's a lot of race cars.
There's a lot of race cars going right now.
Getting ready to go.
Fucking guys in their loud ass cars. Think about this in a relationship too. You know, because we talk to a lot of people about relationships, and I mean, a lot of this show kind of started as that, but like, imagine being married for X amount of period of time. A lot of people will be like, oh, well, you've changed, right? And that leads to a lot of contention. And I'm a firm believer that like there's nothing more exciting, there's nothing more mysterious, there's nothing more like driving, like the true driving force of life is change. Seasons change, trees change, animals change, like everything changes. And I feel like there's so many people that are stuck in like, wait, so this is a scary thing, this is not a good thing, instead of stepping back and looking at it going, holy shit, if that's the truth, then how do I get it to go faster? How can I change faster? How can I evolve quicker? How can I get more answers now and today? And so, you know, I think that the ideas that we have around change have been, you know, programmed in us to be uncomfortable with. And I think the thing that's probably the most powerful thing in the universe is change. Like literally being at the racetrack right now. Like I need to change how I'm driving. Like I drive this way, and if I keep driving this way, I'm going to be this guy in the class, and I'm going to take 10th place every single race that I go out, unless I change something. Every fucking lap that I go out, I have to change something. I have to change this, I have to change this. It's constantly changing to get faster, And the crazy part, the irony of racing in life is like, I'm trying to find 1/10 of a second, 2/10 of a second. You know what I mean? And that takes change every single corner. You know what I mean? But you do it, you get faster, and you get faster, you get more competitive, and
Well, our societies, it doesn't encourage change. If you look at the structure of it, you've got political parties, and it's like, God forbid,
we gotta change
God
that
forbid
shit, man.
you
We gotta
change
change
a
that
party or change your way of you know. God forbid you open your mind to the looking at the whole picture. You know, it's like people stick with parties. Well, I've always been a Democrat, so I always just will vote Democrat because that's what we do. You know, it's like, well, we always have just been this religion, and I don't want to explore any spirituality because we are just this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like we have so many structures in our culture that put us in boxes that don't encourage change. Like corporations, same thing. Like there's retirement plans for you to stay there for the duration of your adult life, working to then get a 401k and retirement benefits, and it's like, change is not encouraged. And so it feels a little against the grain. We see this a lot in the Lion's Den. People will come in and their partner or their family will be like, whoa, what are you doing? Whoa, you're quitting your job.
Oh, dude,
whoa,
that's a huge thing,
it's
man.
like huge triggers, and
people
we see it a lot.
People go to like a Tony Robbins event and get all hyped up and juiced up and jacked up, and they'll come home, and the thing they don't realize is like, the people that are in your life weren't there with you. And you see this all the time.
All the time.
Like you said, people join the Lion's Den, they'll go hire a coach, and all of a sudden they radically alter their fitness, they'll radically alter their diet. And this is the social contracts.
This goes back to the social
contracts, which is the contract that you have and the agreement that you have with people. It's as you're changing, you're literally changing that agreement.
Yeah.
And that's what makes people so fucking uncomfortable. Is that you go to Tony Robbins and your family hasn't been there, your work hasn't been there, so you come home and you're like all hyped up, juiced up, jacked up, ready to get in shape, ready to change your life, ready to make more money, and everybody's like, whoa, what the fuck are you talking about? Yo, that's not you. Like, wait a second, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You used to sleep in late, and you used to like drink all night long. You know, one of my buddies, Mike Rudge, he came through the Lions Not Sheep experience years ago, and every Saturday he used to meet up with a group of buddies, and they would all go ride Harleys. And he's like, I would ride Harleys every Saturday. And he's got a family and a wife and daughter, and they, when he came home from the experience, he was like, hey, I'm gonna spend Saturdays with the family. And for like the first month, the guys would call and be like, what the fuck, man? Like, we've been doing this. This is what we do. We've always done this.
Yeah.
This is what we do on Saturdays. And he's like, no, dude, like, I spend time with my family now. Like, I'm hanging out with my daughter. And it was funny because he would call me and he's like, dude, some of the guys would get mad. They'd be like, yo, like, are you like bailing on us? And it's funny because there's almost like this guilt, like trying to make him feel bad that he's not part of the group anymore. When him changing is what he wants for his family, and it's the best thing for him and his family, and ultimately, you know, that change is uncomfortable for people. That's that social contracts.
I've known a lot of women too that get a lot of that have gotten a lot of pushback from people in their lives when they say are dating, right? and they'll date someone and they're like, oh, well, you changed when you were with him, or you changed when you were with him. And I have been one of these women that have been told that. But what I feel like is the missing part about that is that I am so curious that when I have spent time with partners and they're influential in your life, so you get to see through the lens of their perspective. And it's almost like as you date too, you're picking up, or as you change jobs, you're picking up nuggets of knowledge or of experience or perspective that will lead you on your life path. And it's like, I think it's like collecting treasures or golden coins through life. And I don't know, like I've never seen that as a negative. Yeah. It's like, oh, this person has this hobby, I experienced that, well, I actually like that, I'm involved in that. Before I wasn't. I hear this, it happens, I hear this a lot with women, but
change is good.
Change is good.
Well, I need to change my driving today.
You need to change your what?
My driving.
Oh yeah.
All the race cars are out
faster.
now. Can we even hear? We probably don't even have audio. All we hear is like engines and shit. It's all good. This is raw. This is from the racetrack. We're changing things up and doing.
When I had to lean in to hear you talk, I don't think they're going to struggle.
Well, guys, this literally was a conversation that we had the other night. We thought it appropriate to talk about it on the podcast and understand that truly changing those social contracts is probably one of the most powerful things you'll do. Like creating change in your life, looking at your life, saying, what do I want to change? And there should be a laundry list of shit.
Yeah.
You should constantly be changing. You should constantly be on that evolutionary state to fucking change your life. And the people that are around you that want to judge it, that they don't like it, that's totally fine. It's absolutely fine. Let people stay where they are. You create the change. And as you do it, you're going to break social contracts. People are going to be mad, but at the end of the day, you end up with a better result.
I
end up faster on the racetrack.
Social contracts.
And social contracts?
Mm-hmm. That would be a really good one.
Yeah.
Just to get more specific.
Now, those are powerful, man. They're hard as shit. Like, people don't realize how. I truly believe that that's what keeps most people stuck. Yeah. Most people have, I believe this, like, we can go down the rabbit hole another day, but most people truly have an innate desire for more. And what keeps people stuck, what keeps most human beings stuck are social contracts. It's, if I take this risk, my wife will this, my family will this. If I leave my job and my security, my family will judge. And we human beings stay stuck. We suppress our dreams, we suppress our desires, our motivation because of other people's contracts. Because other people say this and say that, and this is how it's always been and how it's always been done. And dude, I don't know that there's too many more things that I'm terrified of than not living my life to the fullest because I'm worried about somebody else. I'm worried about breaking somebody else's contract or having somebody else judge me and go, well, you changed. I want that.
Yeah.
I want people to look at me and go, dude, you've changed. You've changed so much. I'm like, hell yes, I have. Thank you for that.
I've seen you change a whole lot.
Oh.
Uh-oh, there must have been a wreck.
That was a big wreck. Oi. Well, that guy's changed his day, and he probably changed his shorts right before he hit the fucking wall. Well, he'll change his shorts after he hit the wall. This is a gnarly ass racetrack. I hope that was not an accident, but it sounded like
So that was wild.
All right.
I just want to give, if you guys are looking for permission to change and nobody else has your back, we give you permission.
Yeah, we got your back.
Live your best life.
If you like Sean and Sax, if you don't like Sean and Sax, we don't care either way.
Yeah.
But we encourage you to change. Like Vinny changed when he went over in the bushes, now he got fucking poison ivy and he's all, he's gonna have to change his fucking the ointment you put on your poison ivy or whatever. He's scratching the shit out of his legs. Really though, change, guys. Look for change. Look for things you can change. Be constantly, proactively looking for change and realize that it is one of the most consistent things, but also beautiful things in life.
Indeed.
All right. Anything else you want to say on this?
Nope. I like it short and sweet.
This was short and sweet today.
Short and sweet.
From the racetrack, from Wisconsin. We're gonna go get some cheese now.
Yes.
Wisconsin has lots of cheese.
We do. And good ice cream.
Guys, appreciate you. If this hit with you, if this landed with you, if there's somebody that you know that needs to hear this with regards to change, that's stuck or wanting to get unstuck or is getting some shit on because people are telling them that they changed, please share this with them. And please leave a comment, holler at us, let us know what you liked, and God bless you. See ya.
Okay, bye.